Hi everyone. I'm really excited to take part in this episode of Time Tunnelers because I've also tunnelled through time. My name's Julia Gray and I'm the author of this book, I, Ada, which tells the story of the early childhood and teenage years of Ada Lovelace. Now, Ada was born in 1815. She had a really interesting childhood because she had really interesting parents. Her father was a man called Lord Byron, who was really a kind of celebrity, England's most famous poet and a bit of a character. Her mother was a talented mathematician called Annabella Milbank. In combination, it wasn't a good marriage, and Annabella actually fled from Lord Byron when Ada was only about 4 weeks old. Ada never saw her father again, and she grew up very curious to know more about him. She also grew up learning an awful lot of mathematics as well as all kinds of other subjects because her mother was very keen that Ada should not turn out like the poet Lord Byron, but instead be tutored rigorously in all kinds of subjects. What this meant was Ada was a very well-read and well-versed little girl who never stopped asking questions about the world around her. Added to this, she was very resilient, didn't mind the fact that people were always pointing and staring because she was the daughter of Lord Byron, and she was incredibly determined. Anything that Ada wanted to do, she would find a way to do it, overcoming whatever obstacles stood in her way. When Ada was a teenager, she met an inventor called Charles Babbage. Babbage was working on something that he called the difference engine, and this was a machine that was going to become an automated calculator. He had spent a huge amount of money already trying to develop this machine, and he'd only built a demonstration piece, but he showed it to Ada and her mother, and Ada immediately saw what he was trying to do. A machine that would do away with the need for calculations that were performed by hand, with all those mistakes that could creep in as a result. Now, Ada stayed friends with Babbage, and when she was a young woman, married with children, she wrote an essay all about his machine, and she added some notes to that, and in those notes was something that became the world's first ever machine-based algorithm, almost a computer program. Ada, a kind of prophetess, showed that she understood what modern computing could become. Now, how was I going to get into the mindset of someone as fascinating as Ada Lovelace? First of all, I had to do a lot of research. I spent nearly a year sitting in libraries, reading books, making timelines, and just thinking about Ada and all the things that she had achieved. The other thing that I found myself doing a lot of was sensory writing. So no matter what scene I was developing, I would look at it from the point of view of Ada's 5 senses. What could she see, hear, taste, smell, and touch? And I applied this to almost everything that I did. Now, I'd like to invite you to do the same. So I want you to think of a character from history. It could be a specific person, or it could just be someone living at a particular time, like Roman Britain. And I want you to write your own sensory poem. Use the first person and think about what your character can see, hear, taste, smell, and touch. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it gives you a little bit more of an insight into whatever character you have picked. It's been a real pleasure to be here, and I'm particularly excited to talk about Ada this month because it is Women's History Month, and the 11th to the 20th of March is British Science Week as well. Good luck with your writing and with your reading.